Yes, guys, welcome back to my personal channel. Welcome back to another live stream. Obviously, before we start, I'm just going to get over and done with. Yes, as you guys were told from yesterday, the live streaming streak is over. We had to take a day off from streaming, but you guys, you got to allow me. That Royal Rumble stream literally took everything out of me. This bastard drink, right, has been responsible for so many days off in my life, and it's happened again. Ray and his nephew fucked me up again, but we are back. It's another live stream, and it's another big game to look forward to. The biggest London derby around right now. We can forget about the North London derby. We can forget about Chelsea and Fulham. It's the biggest derby around, as Kieran Trippier, Dele Alli, and plenty of other Tottenham players will let you know as well. And we had to get the panel in, and perfect timing as well, because look who's just turned up.
Yes.
We're going to start with you. What are you saying, my guy?
3 days in a week, you beautiful man. How are we all?
I'm good. I'm getting used to this, man. What about you? How are you doing?
How is everybody? How you doing, Craigo? How you doing, Elena?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Craigo, looking good, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I had to keep the hat on as well because my hair is looking wild right now. But yeah, Elena, chat to me as well. How you been, man?
I'm good. Just getting through it. I think the days are merging together, to be honest. And the fixtures are crazy right now. Literally everywhere you look, there's like a fixture. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be going live at this time. And then Man United are playing. And it's just really hard to plan things. But yeah, it's all right. Just, in your house.
Yeah, I hear that. Literally all we've been doing for the last 6 months non-stop is streaming. But that's the grind. Craigo as well, my guy. What are you telling me, man? It's been a while.
Well, it's not, because I spoke to you the other day. But, we're all right.
Did we?
I put you on the phone in. Jesus. Bloody hell. It's nice to know you remember me, mate. I tell you, 3 years together we spent at uni, and all of a sudden you've forgotten me.
It's because we spent so many days doing nothing, and I'm more used to seeing you every day. It's not really
me?
like that anymore. Yeah.
I've been
Uni,
grinding.
3 years, remember?
UCFB.
Oh.
UCFB.
Let me not speak too much. But let's go straight into Spurs v Chelsea, and let's talk about Tottenham, because you lot ain't been the same since the last time we met for a Spurs-Chelsea preview. This used to be a top-of-the-table clash. And I'll say that hands up as well with ourselves. We've massively dropped off over the last few weeks, but we get a bit of a fresh start now because we got Thomas Tuchel now at the wheel. It's a new manager, it's a new start, it's a new bounce. But for you guys, hey, I pronounce his name so many different times after the last week.
German lessons.
Bro, do you know how many weeks it took me to get Werner's name right? I used to get butchered in every comment. Yeah, but I always used to call him Werner. Like, you lot need to bear with me on this, but it's coming. But same way,
get educated. You've got to get educated, Lewis. Everyone knows.
Bro,
people get annoyed that I say Ndombele instead of Ndombele. I say Ndombele, and everyone says you're saying it wrong, and I'm like, am I? I didn't even know I was.
It's a little bit more. To be fair, it's a little bit more difficult than Werner, but Lewis will get there eventually. Get there eventually.
Lewis still says the alphabet phonetically, but we can move on from that.
You waste, man.
I teach 2-year-olds, so it's fine. I do the alphabet phonetically as well.
All right, come on. All right, cool.
You got problems with me and Slav are the intelligent ones on the stream.
Right, let's go straight into this. Spurs versus Chelsea. I do want to talk about you guys' form because, granted, like the last game is a bit understanding with Harry Kane out injured, but since the last time we played, in fact, since December, it's been 3 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses for Tottenham Hotspur. And I'm just going to go straight into it and ask the question. What the hell's happened to you guys since the last time we played?
My manager's dead.
The same bunch
My
of
manager's
shit.
finished.
People can talk about a manager if they want. There's no point. Geezer's on 15 mil a year for the next 2 years. Sack him now, £30 million payout. Pay another manager out who's in a job, £20 million compensation. You're looking at £50 million before you've even backed a new manager.
Yeah, but do we just want to go down and down then? Yeah, just because it costs a lot, we're just going to keep losing games. Yeah, that's cool.
That's just facts. That's not even my opinion. I'm not here like it's just a fact. He was on £15 million a year.
But he needs to go, so it doesn't matter. He needs to. I don't care what it costs. If we're a serious club, we'll sack him. If we're a serious club, we'll sack him.
30 mil to get rid of him. By the way, Daniel Levy loves him. He's obsessed with him.
Okay, you do realise that if these performances keep happening, Daniel Levy doesn't have much. He's quite
we're in a cup final. Daniel Levy's dreams come true. That's all he's here for.
So we could be 14th then and in the cup final, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You think we'll still keep him? Well, then we've got a big problem. Then we've got a big problem. If that's fine, then we've got a big problem.
This is just facts. There's no point in me sitting here moaning about the guy who's going nowhere.
I personally think he's got about a few more performances like that, and I think he'll be gone.
The thing is, like, whatever you say about Mourinho, this is the same group of players that let Poch down, and I'm sick of people saying
he's had 7 additions. He's had 7 additions that were apparently his choice, and apparently he was backed. So
I can tell you as a fact. I can tell you as a fact.
He said himself that this is exactly who he wanted. He said himself is exactly who he wanted.
He did not want Matt Doherty. The only signing he wanted.
Are you joking? He spoke about Matt Doherty in that documentary.
I have sources in the club. I promise you, he did not want any of them.
Oh, so now we all get the violins out because the special one didn't want Matt Doherty.
No,
give me a break.
I'm not backing him. I just think that I don't think the performances are acceptable. I'm not sitting here enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm just saying what am I going to do? Sit here and rant about him going about a guy that
because
do you think it's the manager that's at fault, Sam? Or is it the players?
I think it's both. I think the tactics in the starting 11 are wrong, and I think this is the same group of players that were terrible last season, and the same group of players that didn't win an away game for a year, bar Højbjerg and Doherty. That's the same fucking group of players. And Joe Hart, like it is literally the same group. They're all a bunch of spineless bottle jobs. Like it is literally the same. And people go on, Poch did this, Poch did that. Poch is gone. Fuck Poch, forget Poch. He's not coming back. He's gone. He's got a new job.
Every time you talk about Mourinho, we need to bring Poch up because you're the only one that's done that. No one else. I hate it whenever I cuss Jose. I get fans saying, "Oh, forget Poch." I ain't brought Poch up. You did.
No, people on Twitter want to say about Poch. Oh, Poch did this, Poch did that. Look at Dele, played brilliant. Dele was unreal under Poch. Yeah, Poch is now the manager of fucking PSG. He's not coming back. People on Twitter need to realise this. He doesn't give a shit about Tottenham anymore. So I don't know why
neither does Mourinho.
I'm not sitting there.
All respect goes to the man himself, Jose Mourinho. I personally love this guy still.
Fucking love the special one. Love him.
Yes, but when he was with you lot, he was at his peak, which is fine.
He was
at Tottenham. Yes. He needs right. Let me just say one thing. He played Sissoko as a right wing back, and I'm not allowed to say he makes mistakes. He makes.
To be honest, would you rather Matt Doherty play? These are terrible. I think all our right back options are just dreadful, straight up.
Okay, so you're telling me he shouldn't have played Uriah. He shouldn't have had an argument. He should have had an argument with Uriah to make Uriah walk out of the dressing room. And
you have no idea what happened in the dressing room. What's the point?
So you're saying that just because of his agenda, then he shouldn't play Uriah just because of his agenda. So we're sacrificing points now. I thought the special one only cares about points and results. We're sacrificing points because he doesn't like Uriah. Ridiculous.
This is
great. He's the best one that we have. Regardless if he's good or not, he's the best one we have.
I reckon Aurier will play on Thursday. That's the thing. It's just we're just in a bit of a mess. That's all it is.
He should be playing. If he doesn't play on Thursday, then I've got
all our defenders are championship defenders, in my opinion. They're all crap.
Wrong.
That's fine. I thought a defensive coach has been here for a year. Should be able to make them somewhat better. His obsession with Eric Dyer is a bit weird.
You can't coach individual mistakes out. That's just a fact. You can't coach. Like you can make players better.
So what are you saying? Okay, this is what's annoying. I'll say one thing. No matter what, since Poch, right? When Poch was here, yes, everyone makes individual errors. But you're telling me, whenever someone says, you're telling me Mourinho tells them not to pass and not to shoot. So when Poch was here, they told them not to pass as well. Yeah, that's what you're saying. No, when things go wrong, you look at the players. Okay, they're making mistakes. Then you look at the manager because it's happening too much. So then you look at the manager, and there's obviously something going on. I don't think they're playing for him anymore. I genuinely don't. Because if you're telling me that that group of players can't do anything more than what they did, that's not true.
A big statement, that is a big statement.
Lost the dressing room, you know.
The dressing room. Trust me, we know about that.
I do want to say, define losing the dressing room. You tell me the play style. Go on.
He screamed. Number one, I don't see how he's screaming for a striker. When we played you lot in the cup. He said, "Who's playing up top?" Nobody. He didn't have a striker,
He didn't want Vinicius. You know that, right? He didn't want Carlos.
That doesn't matter. We've got one now, so he should play him. It doesn't matter who he wanted. You can't just not play a backup striker just because you didn't want him. It just doesn't work like that. You've got a backup striker. You play him.
It's a cut. Yo, my mate from college in the comments. Yo, what you saying, Joel?
Joel, where is he?
Yeah, I don't understand how you can say these players are playing for him. And they're just
I'm not backing him. I'm not Jose. I'm not. I love Jose. I just think that there is what if I sit here and go Jose out, and then the next manager comes in, right, and we have the same problems, and I'm just sitting here going him out. What is the? It's because we're going in cycles.
So you're saying we should just keep up with this football just because we could get in a cycle of this?
No, I think
That's what you're saying.
Win a couple of trophies, then get rid of him.
What tells you that this football is going to win a couple of trophies just because he got to a final playing the easiest cup run we've ever had?
You just
still only one game away from victory, though. To be fair.
Okay, we're playing City. Yes, we normally beat them, but yes, we're playing City. Yeah, it's not like we're playing some easy team in the final.
Yeah. Yes, I did want to ask you that question as well. I was going to say, how
if we get knocked out of the FA Cup and we get knocked out of the Europa League, I'll sit here and berate the guy. But there's no other than that Brighton and Liverpool performance. I can't it's bad, but it's not. Trust me, it was worse under some other people.
Okay, I don't care if it's been worse. I care about us now. Just like when people say to me he's won trophies for other clubs, I don't give a fuck what he's won other clubs. I care about what he's going to win my club. And it doesn't look like he's going to win anything rather than an energy drink cup. That is it. And that is not going to elevate the club enough.
In my lifetime, I've seen us win 2 trophies. I will take a energy drink cup all day long.
Okay, that's fine. Take it, but that doesn't mean that I should take him further on. He's not going to take us much further than that.
I'd be very happy to see the back of him. Don't get me wrong.
What's the other trophy you won in your
I don't think getting rid of him. We won the League Cup in '99.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you that old?
Fair play. No, I mean that's 2 trophies in my lifetime too. Fair play.
Yeah, and me as well, but I was about 4 in 1999.
I was like 1.
I just don't see it being a positive getting rid of him in the middle of February.
I get that. No one, right? He's the best chance of getting a trophy right now because he's a very 90-minute manager. My problem is I look for the bigger picture. I don't see this football being sustainable over the long period of time. I said loads of times, literally, Harry Kane is going to get injured playing like this. He's tracking back, running forward, spending his whole time in his box, having to run. It's just not sustainable.
I hear that, but he gets injured every season. I'm not really.
Yes, but playing this football is not helping. I just don't think it. I don't think it's helping.
If we played attacking football, you're telling me Kane wouldn't get injured? Like, he probably
no,
would.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it. I kind of called it in this situation. We're so reliant on him.
I think we've done quite well to get to the end of January without him getting injured.
But we're so reliant on him in this football. We're so reliant on him. So when he gets that 3-month injury, we are screwed. No, we didn't have only 2 goal scorers for 4 years. We didn't expect to create 4 chances.
After that year that Chelsea won the league, we nearly won it.
No, because you're defending him over crap. But like what I'm trying to say to you is, literally, we create about 4 chances a game and expected to score 3 or 4 of them, 2 or 3 of them. It's ridiculous. It's not enough chances for creating a game.
What do you want instead? My point is, the season is a write-off. League season, like if we can get top 4, miracle, brilliant, right? But this league season is a write-off now. So sacking him in February is pointless. If he can finish this season,
so go down to relegation zone then.
We're not going to go to the relegation zone now, are we? Like,
so you're telling me we played against Brighton, which haven't they won a game at home?
We're going to lose our remaining 14 games.
No, but you're not looking at the sustainability of the way we played. You're acting like it's fine. It was just a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. That's the problem. This is the way we play.
Can I ask a question? It was thrown around that obviously the Chelsea legend that is Diego Costa was potentially targeted by a top 6 club. Do you think it's you?
Probably, because he lives in the past, so probably.
We don't have a foreign space.
I don't know if it was.
We didn't have
that would be another Jose signing. You know, one of them players. The more you say it.
Foreign player. We don't have any squad spaces for foreign players. That's why we couldn't get rid of Dele and replace him with Eriksen.
We have a homegrown issue.
We have a homegrown issue. Basically, we have an issue of too many cunts at the club that aren't good enough and need to fuck off. And like Lamella, who's been here for 8 years.
I tell you,
Well,
you don't
yeah,
sit on the fence, Sam. You say how it is. You say how
They're
it is.
all such wankers. Some of them are such wankers. Like,
It was
Lucas
quite.
Boyd-
It was
Oh,
quite funny.
name names. Name names. Come
Mate,
on.
Lewis, I was speaking about this with you and Baz last night. Lamella, Lucas, Winks. Half of these boys aren't good enough. They've been here for years, and I love them as people. Like, I'm sure they're lovely guys, and they might do well at another club, but they just are not good enough anymore.
Are these all the people
How
that were
many
brought in to
chances-
try and replace
How many
Gareth Bale
chances
many
does
years
Eric
ago?
Lamella need to give?
Basically.
You can't disagree. He's been here for 8 years and has done nothing other than
He
a
scored
Rabona
one
in the
nice
Europa
goal
League.
in the Europa League, and that was about
Yeah,
it.
and I look at the defense as well. Unfortunately, as much as I love him, Toby's past it. Joe Rodon looks okay, but at times looks like a championship defender. The right backs are a bunch of comedians. Ben Davis is one of the worst left backs I've seen in a long time, and I love Reguilon, to be fair. He's a baller, but. The Eric Dyer experiment at centre back didn't go well. Played well twice.
But who loved him?
No, but to be fair, I know he loves him, but he hasn't got much choice. Davinson Sanchez is bloody awful. Like,
Yes, but you played.
You are not spoiled for choice in the centre back department. I'll say that. Like,
What we're saying is every excuse under the sun excuses Jose Mourinho from getting any blame because he doesn't have the players that he don't have world-class players.
He gets blames for his subs and his team selection, but I also think
and his tactics.
I also think that some of the performances, like, what can he do? What can he do about when we played Liverpool, that opening goal with all those mistakes? What's he supposed to do?
So basically what we're saying, whenever it's an individual error, the manager gets no blame. So basically Pochettino was sacked for no reason because most of them were individual errors as well. That's what you're saying.
No, to be fair, as a neutral in this, I would actually like to say that I thought Poch being sacked was very unfair. But there we are.
He actually did lose the dressing room.
Yeah,
you're
saying
Jose Mourinho has
lost dressing room.
I was at that Brighton 3-0, and it was distasteful in that away end. It was not nice. The time had come for him to move. As much as I loved him, as much as the next person, like, I still do love him, and I'm very grateful for what for the level.
I think he's a great manager. I think he's brilliant.
Unfortunately, it just became a bit stale after the Champions League final. Players stopped playing for him. There were things going around the club. Like, it wasn't nice, unfortunately, and it wasn't a nice way for it to end. And people knew it was coming to an end. Me and Ben were in Serbia for when we battered Belgrade, and it was sort of like it was the last game we won before he got sacked. And it was sort of like everyone saying goodbye at the end. Like, you knew it was coming to an end, unfortunately.
I do like what you said there. The players didn't want to play for him, I agree with. I agree with you, Slav.
I totally get that. And I'm not sitting here saying Jose Mourinho wasn't sacked. Pochettino wasn't sacked for a good reason. He definitely was. He needed to be. There was no coming back from what he had done. But what I'm saying is, you can't say, "Oh, it's individual errors with Jose Mourinho," and then not admit that. That's the same sort of thing with Poch, but the players weren't playing for him. I worry that the players are not playing for him now.
No, I agree. Some of them probably aren't, and some of them probably don't get along with him. He is a very, what's the word? Kind of went like a very specific taste, Jose, to want to play under him and play that way. But
isn't it a bit worrying?
We don't have the squad to play Jose ball. Let's be real. Compare our squad to the squad he had at Chelsea, or even the squad he's had anywhere. Ours is nowhere other than Kane and Son.
Yeah, 100%. I will say one thing about us under Jose, and that was, we only really saw Jose play free-flowing football when he had 100% confidence in the squad. Remember the 5-3 game when we lost to you guys? We could tell the season from a halfway point. As soon as we lost that game, the confidence had completely dropped. We were playing defensive football, but it was a massive hazard carry job. Costard fell off the second half. Fabregas fell off the season as well. We got carried by Eden Hazard to that title. It was also very poor competition around the whole Premier League table that season as well.
Being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. So I want to say with you guys, how long would you be willing to wait for Jose to have that confidence in his squad? Because if you're talking about the players, there's a lot of players.
Just before you rip him, because I understand that you want to rip him, it's fine. I just want to say, I'm not Jose. I'm not sitting here saying, back him. He'll bring us success forever, because he won't. But my point is, I don't want to get rid of him in the middle of February. There is absolutely no point. Right, we could, even if we lose like the next 6 games. All right, maybe if we lose the next 6 games, and we're out of all the competition. All right, I'll change my mind. But at the moment, like, we're in. I know it's not ideal in terms of the style of play and whatever. But these, at the end of the day, I don't care what anyone says. These are the players that let Poch down at the end, and they're letting him down. And I know the style of football is boring and shite, But some of these players, you have to look at them and say, are you good enough? And they are not.
That's fine. And I'll just say what I've always said about this Jose Mourinho situation. This is when he first came, I had this worry. Right, he's been backed at every other club he's been at. Like, he gets backed. So
if anyone needs a new manager,
as long as I hope he
we all know about him, don't we?
another ex-Chelsea one as well. He fits the mold.
Well, I want no more ex-Chelsea players, managers. No, just don't come to my club. Stay away. Like, just stay away from my club. But what I'm saying is, he spent 400 million at United, 400 million, and then got sacked. Right? He wins you trophies he's a short-term manager. He's a short-term manager with he needs short-term funds. Our board doesn't give short-term funds. So my problem is that it will go sour with Daniel Levy very soon, because if he's to me, it kind of looks like he's throwing his toys out the pram because he ain't got signings in this January. That's what it feels like anyway. That he's throwing his toys out the pram because he hasn't got his signings in January. And the fact that this is what you signed up for. This is Tottenham. We don't spend money. So if you can't do it without money, then you're not the right manager for Tottenham, because you're not going to get ridiculous amounts of money at Spurs. You're just not. So I feel like people forgetting that we're not going to give him ridiculous amounts. For example, if we spent 70 million, okay, you're telling me half of those weren't his signings. That's fine. Then that is what you've signed up for. My personal opinion is that he overestimated this squad when he first came in. This is my personal opinion, because I think that we made the Champions League final, the flukiest Champions League final ever, by the way, but we made that final. So he's thinking, I can get a couple cups out of this team. Like, I could get an FA Cup and a League Cup out of this team. Like, they just made the Champions League final. They're clearly good enough. They're just not playing. Then he's come in and he's realized that this squad is worse than it is. And he's not going to get the backing that he normally gets. So for me, we need a bigger rebuild than we thought we originally needed. Well, Poch said it, but overall, we need a rebuild, but he's not a rebuild manager. So he's not the manager you get now. He's the manager you get when you have the winning team. Mm-hmm. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with
the two things doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with what you said, but I do stand by the fact that this is, again, not he isn't going anywhere this season. I'd love if we got like Hassan Hüttl from Southampton in the summer. I want nothing more. I want nothing more than somebody on the, like, who plays the intensity and something you can. So I just want a manager that I can actually wake up in the morning and go, oh, Spurs are playing today. Not
exactly. But it's also not about the football for me. The whole thing doesn't make sense to me.
I think you don't realize Daniel Levy has wanted Jose since the day.
I know he wanted him before he went to Chelsea. I do know that, but that doesn't mean it's all nostalgia right now. Like getting Bale, getting Mourinho, it's all nostalgia.
I agree.
But we're realizing
Jose didn't want Bale. Only Levy did.
100%. But I've got a problem with Enoch and Levy as it is. I want them out as well. So don't worry. Like, I do.
I know, but these people aren't going anywhere.
So that means that we can't complain about anything then. After a football game, we can't complain about anything because they're not going anywhere.
Complain about whatever you like, but it's just, look, I used to complain about it all the time. I've sort of given up, really. I've just lost all the motivation. Maybe not being able to go to the games makes a big impact, because like when you're at the game and you voice it.
I definitely feel disconnected to Spurs more than ever, and I'm not sure if that's just the manager or if it's not going to games. Because I go to most home games, so I do get that.
So you know what it's like. Like it's difficult watching it on the telly when you just miss it. It was like a part of your weekend or a part of your life. But
I just think that when people say to me, "Oh, Daniel, why would he sign the contract if he knew he wasn't going to get backed?" I'll tell you why. Because he overestimated this team,
and also he got off £50 million.
Oh yeah, huge contract, but this team also looked much better on paper at the time. There's a reason why you sack Poch, because you're not getting the most out of the players, right? That you can. And then it looks like we've got another manager in that still can't get it out of the players, but we're not going to give a huge rebuild in one season. So for me, Jose Mourinho being such a short-term man, it's the wrong time to get him. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think he's a short-term manager? Because the one thing I was thinking when he first joined you lot was he was more than likely to join a London club anyway, because one of the biggest issues with him at Manchester was that he was nowhere near his family who are based in London. Now he's back in London. Doesn't that make you feel a bit more like he's going to be around for the long haul at least?
I think the football. I don't think the players will want to play the football. I just don't think it'll be harmonious for too long with General Levy. So you can go.
But if we miraculously, like I spoke with one of my oldest friends. Like we go everywhere. We follow Spurs everywhere together. And I said to him, like, we know what's going to happen this week. We're going to beat okay, we'll probably beat you lot on Thursday. Go to play West Brom on Sunday, and we'll be absolutely terrible again and lose 1-0.
Yeah.
Or it will be the other way around. We lose Thursday, everyone has a meltdown. We then beat West Brom, and suddenly everyone's back on the
It's all fine. I mean, I understand not sacking him now, but I'm not going to shy away from the fact that there's obvious problems. Not just with the players, but with him as well. I feel like people think like, oh, you want to get rid of him now? Who are we going to get in now? No one. So I understand keeping till the end of the season. But what I'm saying is everyone acts like he's exempt from criticism, which is what annoys me more.
Yeah. Now we kind of had the same issue with Lampard, but like Lampard, I think that was a lot more shorter term before fans really started flip-flopping over whether they wanted him in or out. I think with you guys, like the biggest issue that's obvious to see was your over-reliance on Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. And we were saying this like weeks ago what?
We're 4 players, FC. Højbjerg and Ndombele, Kane and Son.
Yeah, and we were saying that you lot were literally one injury to either away from potentially free-falling. And you've got an injury to Kane now, which isn't for too long. It's only going to be a few weeks from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
But the same way, it's coming to you guys at exactly the wrong time.
Weeks could be every one of those games lost.
That's the thing as well. Like I've got to say, it says no Spurs player outside of Kane and Son has accumulated more than 1.5 XG in the Premier League this season.
I was just about to say that.
You had the stat as well, but yeah, this is the thing. Your attacking play, it's not only just heavily reliant on them two.
We create no chance. We're not creating enough. I don't believe that Ndombele can't score more goals. I don't believe that Bergwijn can't score more goals. I'm saying he doesn't take his chances. I get that, and he's shocking. But he's playing him because he can track back and be a good in defence. Like he gives more along that back line because he does track back and then he runs forward. But what I'm saying is, I feel like if we created more chances, we'll get more goals along the whole pitch. My problem is that we're not creating enough, meaning that Ndombele will be sitting in his own half, having to dribble through, pass it to Son. Son has to score that chance till we make another one in 20 minutes time. It's just we're not creating enough. There's not enough like attacking play. We need, if realistically, to be a top 4 team, you need a few goals from all over the pitch. You need a few in the midfield, couple from corners from your defenders, couple from your fullbacks, and you need your front 3 or 4 to do something. It's just not, you're not doing anything. We're not doing enough. So this is my problem, that we create 3 chances a game. Son has a bad game. You're not going to create 10 chances a game to let other people score. It's just not. The problem is we don't have enough chances. It's just like you create 2, you have to score them 2. It's just not good enough.
I also think
it's a transition where you guys are at the worst then.
No. One of our biggest problems, which I don't.
We haven't got a replacement for Eriksen.
Well, yeah, no, I meant in terms of the style of football, which I actually don't think is all on Mourinho, because I think you can be any football manager or any football fan and be able to coach this. We can't keep the ball for more than 3 passes.
But doesn't that worry you if they're playing for him?
It's weird. No,
that's my worry.
Can't pass to each other. That's nothing to do with the manager. You are a professional footballer, and you can't keep the ball against. Fair enough, you're playing Man City. We can't keep. You've all seen our possession stats this season. If you watch us, our capability of retaining the football, and just keeping the ball for 5 passes, just when you're like 1-0 up and you need to calm down and not more or whatever, we can't do it, and that is a major worry.
Yeah, but I worry that the players aren't playing for him. They might be down in tools for him. This is a worry because they are good enough to do that.
We haven't been able to keep the ball since the beginning of the season. We don't keep the football. We play on the counters. So it's all we do. We can't keep the ball, and that's one of the fundamentals of winning a football match is being able to retain possession.
But these players are not that bad. You can't tell me these players are incapable of doing that. You can't tell me that.
They are capable of doing that, but they are really bad at the same time.
No, but so you're telling me they're worse than that Brighton lineup? That lineup we played is worse than that Brighton lineup. No, it's not.
I would take Yves Bissouma, McAllister, Mope.
This is what's annoying about Jose Mourinho. He needs to write a book at how he does this. He brainwashes every fan base to think it's always the players and it's never him. I don't see how he does this.
But these players are shit.
But they're not that bad. Come on, you're saying that. When we got this signings, myself, I was like, okay, we've got a squad now. We genuinely have a squad now. I'm thinking we should be able to rest some players. We genuinely have a squad. We did well in the transfer window. And all of a sudden now everyone's saying these players are not good enough. No one thought that at the beginning of the season. So I highly doubt you thought that without Harry Kane and Son, we are relegation. Highly doubt it.
Gone, oh yeah, he's a player. No,
but he could play against Brighton. He can play against like teams like that. Like you'd think that Davis can play instead of Reguilon sometimes, to give Reguilon a rest as he's our first choice. You would think, Sanchez can do a bit of a job. I've always not thought Sanchez was good enough, but as a squad player, you'd think that it was. In my opinion, I don't think these players are good enough, and I would take players like Yves Bissouma over players like Moussa Sissoko, and I'd take their fullbacks over ours. I'd go through the whole Premier League and maybe Burnley, Sheffield United, West Brom. So you're saying that before then we were never good. We're never good enough. Then we only have Kane and Son, and you thought that this whole time. So what you're saying is
we have Moussa Dembele, Victor Wanyama, Prime Walker, Rose, Jan, and Toby. Like. We've gone.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're bringing up this team. It's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, right now, we definitely we're not great, but the players are not as bad as you are making out.
They are. I'm sorry,
they're not. It's just impossible. It's just impossible to be that bad. It's just impossible.
Watch Tottenham and think, yeah, those players are half decent.
No, but I've not thought they're quality players, but I think they're squad players.
But I like Bergwijn.
I like him a lot. Yeah,
I think he's unlucky because he should have more goals and has been hitting the post and whatever. It just hasn't fallen for him. But some of the ones that have been here for a few years, thank you, thanks for your service. Thank you, Lucas Moura, for the hat trick in Amsterdam.
100%.
But do you think some of those players look better on the pitch than they did under
the ball rolls and the elbows? But it's like as Claude says, it's time to go.
I also think that about
that they were better under Jose, under Poch than they were under Jose for some of those players.
I mean, back end of Poch.
That's also a time thing, though, isn't it? It's also a time thing.
Yeah, I think that when you look at the end of Poch's reign, he needed to go.
We didn't win the away game for 12 whole months.
Yeah, the end of Poch's reign, he needed to go. Those players weren't paying for him either. But
you said before we had that fluke of a Champions League run. It was a fluke. He would have been sacked long before he was if we didn't get to the final.
Totally agree. I'm not sitting there saying Poch shouldn't have been sacked. That's not what I'm saying. I feel like whenever you disregard, like you say something about Jose Mourinho, people think you're trying to get Poch back in. No. I said that he needed to go. That's not forget Poch. This isn't about Poch. This is about the problem we have now. The problem we have now is you cannot make me believe that these players cannot play football. They can. I worry that he's lost the dressing room and they're not. Jose Mourinho is the worst man to get the dressing room back. We all know this. You two know this more than anyone. He's lost the dressing room.
Never heard of it.
You can't get it back. That's just Jose Mourinho in a nutshell. I just worry that we're missing a trick because we're so blindsided by all his trophies that he's won at other clubs that we're just taking a blind eye to the problems that he has himself. Again, no one's saying we can get someone better in right now, but I'm not blind to the fact that there are issues there with him as well as the players.
And I do want to say, because that brings it to this question as well, which is a very interesting one from Beyond the 90. Everyone check him out if you guys haven't checked him out already as well. Has Jose changed or has football changed around him? I think that's an interesting way to try and look at it. And Elena, I'm going to come to you first with this question. What's your thoughts?
I think it's a bit about. I think he's stubborn in his ways. So I think yes, he probably knows what he's got to do. I'm not denying that he's a top manager. Like he's won everything he's won because he's a great manager. Now I do think things have changed in football, but I think that I think you have to look at the facts that he doesn't have a plan B. When it works, it's a masterclass. But when it's not working, he doesn't seem to have a plan B. You go 1-0 up and you're trying to defend a 1-0. That doesn't always work. I just think that we're turning a blind eye to the problems. He's got a great plan A, but when plan A is not working, he doesn't have a plan B. And I don't know if that's just him not having one or if that's just him being stubborn. I'm not too sure.
I think it's both. I think he A doesn't have one and B is stubborn.
Yeah. So do you see what I'm saying? It's just a bit of a worry.
Someone's just put in the comments, Harry Redknapp's available. I actually think Harry Redknapp would get the best out of this squad. Kind of weird.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
Harry Redknapp is the best out of Gareth Bale and Dele Alli. Well, maybe not Bale because Bale.
But when he spoke about Bale, I was like, I'm actually in love.
100%.
Yeah. He'll put his arm around him. He's like a dad, isn't he? But Jose Mourinho is not. And I get that, but I just think it's just annoying because what annoys me more is the fans that constantly make excuses for him. There is definite problems there. And yes, our squad ain't great. I'm not saying our squad can win the league. I never said that when it was before. I was just gassed. Like, I was very happy.
I got blinded and I thought we would win the league in November, unfortunately.
Yeah, but then that shows that we kind of thought that our squad was somewhat good. We can't just say it was two players. So what I'm saying, I don't know. I just think that we're turning a bit of a blind eye to him, and that's what makes it seem like, yes, I hate the guy. I don't hate him. I understand he's got us to a final, but I'm not denying that there are problems there.
No, fair enough. Look, it comes across like I'm having I respect everything you're saying, and to an extent, I do agree with you. I don't know how to explain my point of I've just lost the energy to fight it anymore.
I know, I get that. I genuinely do because it's kind of like what's happening on the pitch.
At the end of the day, I just want to see us do well, regardless of who's in charge. And
100%, 100%. When I think of one game,
players just aren't good enough. Like for example, the Wickham game, right? I don't think you can blame that performance, even though we won for one.
No, you can't. I said that when I went on the terrace.
You had to bring on Kane, Son, and Ndombele and Højbjerg for us to beat bottom of the team in the worst championship team ever. Right,
100%. No, but we created a lot that game. We hit the crossbar, we hit the post. I totally. I'm saying that game was not on Jose Mourinho at all. I understand why he had to bring
enough times, but my brother's best mate plays for Wickham as well. He's the left back that went off injured after 5 minutes, and he was telling me how Bale. He was telling my brother. He told me how Bale has just got no interest in playing football, no motivation. So that probably explains why he's so fucking shit.
Yeah, but then, you need someone that can get that motivation out. And Jose Mourinho isn't much of a man manager. I'm not saying sack him for one man. I'm just saying.
He loves golf nowadays and he just wants to play golf. He's won 4 Champions Leagues. I don't blame him.
Quick question. What's happening with Dele Alli?
You're motivated looking around and when you're on a football pitch and seeing Moussa Sissoko.
We've kind of taken over. I do this when I go a lot. I apologise.
Keep going. Like, this is
You've got Modric, Ronaldo, Cruz, Casemiro. You come back to Tottenham, Sissoko, Harry.
Oh my gosh, it's like when Poch won his first. It's like when Poch won his first trophy. It's like you don't know how to hold it because you've never actually held one before. Bale had the same issue when he went to Real Madrid and he won the Champions League. It's almost like they hold it like a baby. Like, how do I hold this?
Yeah, literally. I just want to see us do well. I just want to see if we can get through. I'm always going to back whoever's in charge of my club at the end of the day, regardless of who it is. Because I just want to see us do well. I love Tottenham. I don't love whoever's in charge. I want Tottenham to do well, and if we can get to the end of the season, so if we can get in top 4, great. If not, but if we can win some things, just some silverware to build on, he can go at the end of the season. I don't care. He can honestly go.
This is an honest opinion. No one else says that though. Everyone else says that they back him over our club, which annoys me, which is when it seems like I'm arguing.
No, I'm a Tottenham fan. I'm not a Mourinho fan. I want Tottenham to do well. I spend my money on
that is an important point because a lot of people say he's bigger than my club. I don't care what you won, Chelsea, are biggest rivals. I don't care what you've won other clubs. Win stuff for my club. That's what I care about.
You said biggest rivals, just clarifying. You're saying that Arsenal.
One of our biggest rivals.
I've said it for a while. I've said Dele Alli said it too. Kieran Trippier is what it is.
I used to wind
but that was just Arsenal slander. Like like they don't matter anymore.
But there was a bit of truth to that.
One of Lewis's triggers is if you say Spurs aren't Chelsea's rivals. Sorry,
What was
Chelsea. Right. One of your triggers when we were at uni was if I tell you you are one of our rivals, you used to go off on one.
Nah, because
I do remember this.
There you
Actually,
go.
yeah. I do remember
that's
this.
not true though.
There you go. There it is.
Ah, you waste, man. Right, Ian. Cause I want to get your thoughts from the outside in. What do you think of this whole spectacle? Because we've been in the same situation for the last month with Frank Lampard. So
Well,
give us some perspective.
In the Champions League final, it was one game away from victory. It's 90 minutes. That's what it is. And it's the same thing with the League Cup now, obviously, in a couple of months' time. It's April, that isn't it? It's April.
Yeah. Yes.
You've just gone from the Champions League final to the Carabao Cup final.
I'm getting to that. But the big difference between, its big difference is the quality of the competition. But the point still stands. It's one of the reasons that Tottenham had bugger all hope in the Champions League final is because they haven't got any winners in their team. They haven't got any winners, and they haven't had winners for a long, long time.
I also think Poch made mistakes tactically. It wasn't all on the players on that game as well.
No, I think the obviously going 1-0 down in a matter of seconds, pretty much, of course, makes the whole thing more difficult. I agree. I don't think it was handball either, but I don't know. I can't.
Thank you.
Sorry. It's done now. I also found it very funny when you said about your fluke Champions League season. Do you remember our Champions League fluke season, Lewis?
Oh yeah, beautiful limbs.
We won it.
The best part of our fluke season was I lived with Lewis and it was the first time I'd met Lewis. And it just so happened to be in fact, it was with you as well when I used to see you at Wharf and whatever. In those days. It was the first time I knew you guys living with Lewis, and I used to come back from Champions League away days, and every single time Spurs were closer and closer to the final. He was hating it. It was amazing.
That fucking Ajax one where Lucas scored the third one. And I was just sitting there in my room like, they're going to judge their way to the Champions League, aren't they? I can't be asked. But yeah, Craig, go on. You're continuing your point.
You still haven't got winners, and that's the reason why I actually think Jose has improved you, is that he has got a winning mentality. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to work miracles. That's not Jose. But I think if he leaves a club where he hasn't won a piece of silverware, he's fuming. He is absolutely fuming. And as much as you don't want to accept it, you are 90 minutes away from a piece of silverware, which has eluded you for 13 years. A piece of silverware. Yeah. Last time was against us, 2008, isn't it? Yeah. 13 years.
He's a great 90-minute manager. The best manager you can want in a final. There is no denying that, 100%. But I just think, overall, I look at it as a long-term thing. I don't know if that is my Spurs mentality, because we should just be looking at it as, we've got a final, just get through it. But overall, I just look at it from the out. I try to look at it from the outside in, and I look at teams wanting to play us. I feel like teams want to play us right now. We're easy to play.
I don't.
I mean, I'm surprised in that. Genuinely, I'm surprised, because when I look at us, I think we're quite easy to play against. We don't have I don't know.
Well, we
I
can't
just think
pieces. That's one reason.
Yeah, I mean,
the problem is we're not putting on our main
that doesn't like to jump. I understand that we have problems, but I just think that we're not being honest with the fact that there are both issues there. Yes, he can win us a trophy, and I'll love him winning trophy. But I still look at the long-term issue, and the long-term issue is still there for me. And yeah, I'm not gonna deny that there is a long-term issue there, because the way he plays is a long-term problem.
I think that the thing that I really picked up on from what you were saying earlier as well, you were saying about a rebuild. And saying that Jose's the guy you get in at the end of the rebuild.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Levy will believe that the rebuild was the last 5 years under Pochettino, or the previous 5 years under Pochettino.
No, but then those players went stale. If we're blaming it all on the players, and the players have gone stale, and we need new ones.
That's the thing. That's where I look at Daniel Levy, and I've got a question in. Nothing that Mourinho's done wrong. Is the players were declining. You got to the Champions League final by, in your words and probably the words of many, a fluke. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's going to be the exact same thing, and we're going to be able to have the same success again, which doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's Jose Mourinho's fault. And I actually look at, was it Man City you played just before us, beat them 2-0?
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at that kind of game and think previously Spurs could have been absolutely whacked, even under Poch. I think they could have been whacked.
We kind of always have a good record against City, even under Poch. So
yeah, but you still lose a few games here and there. But again, a big caliber team. You know, like there's been times where we beat.
No,
you.
I'm not. That's fine. 100%. It's a Jose Mourinho masterclass when it works, but when it doesn't work, you also have to look at him as well, because a lot of us only look at it when he wins and never look at it when he's losing.
At all. No one's perfect.
And I think that he's making a lot of mistakes.
But I also think that the players have let him down. I think Daniel Levy's made terrible decisions in where the club is currently at. And also as well, I mean, to be fair, I don't want to say the crisis that we're all in, that we all know, which is the reason we're stuck indoors. I don't want to get Lewis demonetised. But that hasn't helped things either. And I think with a full amount of money coming into Tottenham, I mean, the fact that you had to basically apply for the furlough scheme and whatever is slightly embarrassing. But it also does show the current state of the club, which is that if there was a shed load of money to spend, then you'd have been able to spend it.
We wouldn't spend it. Our owners don't spend money. This is the reality. We don't give Jose Mourinho the millions that he needs. This is the problem.
But they very easily could have if this situation.
But they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. That's what I'm telling you. They wouldn't have.
I mean,
no, I know my owners. I know my owners. Well, it wasn't a lot. What was it? 15 million?
Really?
No
business. But again, you bring back Bale.
How much should we get Jose for? Or was it Doherty? We got 15 million.
3.
Oh, 3 because we said we gave Kyle Walker-Peters back.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Signing Bale was like, it wasn't Jose. Jose didn't want him. Everyone knows Bale.
Yeah,
is Bale, right? But it was kind of like when you're walking with like your mum and when you were younger in a sweet shop and she's telling you, right, I'll buy you like one thing or whatever, but then you walk past something and you see it and you're like, oh, I want that, right? It's like that's what Daniel Levy was doing. Jose had given him probably a list of targets and then Levy went, oh, but look, Bale, like
100%.
That's why Bale was here.
Yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, we will not throw money at Jose Mourinho, and he's not the manager to do it over a few years. This is the problem. This is the problem that we're having, is that he won't throw the money at him.
And whose fault that?
Yeah, that's our owner's fault, but that's it's not the right manager to get in with these owners.
Like last January, we wanted Bruno Fernandes. Who did we end up with? Jedson Fernandes.
Well, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is, when you get Mourinho, either if you're going to splash 400 million, like our owners, like Man United did, they splashed 400 million at him. He won them 3 trophies, then he got sacked, right? You either do that, or you have the team ready there, a winning team to go win stuff. You don't get Jose Mourinho with a rebuild needed with managers that rebuild over 5 years. Like it just doesn't make sense. See what I'm saying?
Maybe we can hope that we have a successful end to this season. He goes with dignity in the summer and his head held high. Yeah,
see what I'm saying, though? I'm pretty sure if you get that, you get what I'm saying.
Super Scotty Parker in. But until then, I'm just taking it again. I've said this all season. I'm just taking it a game at a time. To be honest, it's the only way my sanity will stick with me. So Sunday was beyond.
Listen, these lot are going to smash us. That's the main point here, is that you lot are going to beat us like 3-0 or something.
No
really?
Not a chance.
I actually think we could actually win as on a fluke somehow, but I don't think it will change much.
It's got 0-0 written all over it.
Yeah. You see, I'm trying not to get too optimistic about this game because I did it last time, and from halftime it was
passable versus defend. That's it.
Passable. Give Thomas Tuchel some respect. It's just because we've been playing.
It's passable. It's passable.
I was gonna say we've been playing 2 buses, but we're about to play another bus as well. So I'm gonna retract my original point. But same way, like, because we have been speaking about Jose for about 50 minutes straight. Let's talk.
I genuinely apologize.
No, I'm cool with it because I'm all for the discussion and everyone's been enjoying it anyway. But same way, we do have to start talking about the game. So let's go around the table. I want to find out you guys' thoughts going into Spurs versus Chelsea and your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea over the last week, because bro, I already said like my pronunciation is going to be all over the place for the next few weeks. You just got to bear with me on this one. But what's your thoughts on Chelsea over the last week? What's you guys' thoughts on going into Spurs versus Chelsea and how confident you guys? Slav, we'll start with you.
Okay, so I said even before you got him, or before Lampard was gone, I'm not a fan of his. I reckon my dog could win the league with PSG. Personally, I reckon.
It's like Poch slander for no reason. Anyway, go on.
No, I think
the league. To be fair,
no, I think at PSG, Poch's aim is to win the Champions League with them. But I think Thomas. I remember we played Borussia Dortmund a couple of times when he was in charge, and we absolutely wiped the floor with them. And this was a good Dortmund side. It had Pulisic in it. It had Aubameyang in it. I can't remember who else played, but had some decent players in it. I don't see what's so special about this guy. I think it probably was the right decision to get rid of Lampard, but I think the appointment of Tuchel was a bit rushed, in my opinion. And I don't know what the basis, what he was hired on what basis, if that makes sense.
Tuchel.
Yeah.
I'd say at the very least, steady the ship. He's on an 18-month contract, so there's a bit of disclaimer in it. So if it don't work, we can get rid.
I get it's kind of risk-free. But I just think I just don't think he's the right manager for you in the long term. Bit like Jose for us, but for now, some of your players look a little bit re-energized. Hudson-Odoi, a few others. So. Irrespective of tomorrow's result, I don't think he is the man to take Chelsea to where they need to be or where they should be. But I guess I might be proved wrong, to be fair. I mean, it's just my opinion at the end of the day. And it's just from what I've seen of him.
I will say I do not agree on your thoughts on Tuchel, but I'll wait for Tuchel to prove it to you guys instead. Elena, let's hear your thoughts. You still got the same thoughts on Tuchel?
I don't know. For you lot, I know you lot splash a lot of money. So, and I think he's a winner. He will get the best out of like Werner and Havertz and players like that. I genuinely think he will get like a little bit of fire in their belly. I think
all the German ones.
Well, yeah. Well, I just think he will. I think he will do all right. I never think Chelsea will do too badly because of how much money you do spend, and your chairman doesn't take any crap really. If it gets bad, you will sack him, and you will give the next manager a lot of money. I think in respective to this game, I think you're on a new manager bounce at the moment. I think he's now got he's had a bit of time now. I think you will go in there and totally I think you'll go in there and just sort of totally demolish us personally. I don't think we've given anything to show why we would get any kind of I don't think we'll get any kind of result. I think it'll be great if we could draw. If we could get a draw from you, it would be brilliant for us considering our recent form, and you lot just got a new manager. But overall, I think you'll win about 2-1. I think you'll be tight, but I think you'll win about 2-1. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get smashed like 3-0, 4-0 though, to be honest. But I don't know. He doesn't
4-0 at home. I actually don't know. I mean, it must.
No. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that would happen, but I'm just saying if it did happen, I wouldn't be surprised. To be fair, but I think
that'll put a lot of pressure on you guys though, because that'll be 3 losses on the bounce.
Yeah.
Who'd you play?
And I don't think we can just ignore that. I genuinely don't.
I think it'll be very cat and mouse Thursday night. You'll probe around and pass it. We'll have our low deep block, and I can just see it trying to hit you on the counter, and I can just see it being 0-0 personally.
Who'd you
Depends
play
on how they play. It's like, and with you lot, obviously you play like at the moment you're playing a lot of passing. It's a lot of pass ball at the moment, and I think that we can't keep a ball to save our lives. You could pass it in. You could pass it into our goal. To be fair,
but here's the thing: we have the team for it. I'm just saying it's very early days into what Tuchel wants into the side, so I'm not going to sit here and judge the first 2 performances. I do think our performances against Wolves and against Burnley have been better than anything I've seen, at least Leeds United backwards. which right now is justifying the manager change and also finally putting Hudson-Odoi in the starting lineup as well. I do want to go to you, Craigo, as well to get your thoughts on this and also your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel of the last week.
Craigo, you asked me a question, by the way.
Yeah.
You said who's up front.
Huh?
Did you say who's up front?
No. Who you play next?
Oh, I thought you said who's up front. Okay, go on.
Yeah, which is West Brom. Who you got after that?
West Brom.
West
Let me
Brom,
check.
Man City, I think.
Yeah,
Because
Man
I'm
City,
just thinking,
West
you're
Ham,
going-
Burnley, and Arsenal after Palace.
we're going into that mid-February period where you've got back-to-back Europa League games, haven't you, pretty much every week?
Yeah, we've got Everton away in the FA Cup as well in the next week or
Yeah.
so.
But
Games.
it's a weird one with Spurs because I think from what I've seen from Thomas Tuchel in the first week that we've had him, I mean, because it is only a week, 2 games, both very passy, 24 hours notice for the Wolves game, so I'll let you off a little bit with that. Burnley was better, but I still see stuff in this game, well, in especially the Burnley game, that Spurs couldn't outdo us on completely. You know, I think our midfield could get bullied. It could get absolutely bullied. I'm not saying it's going to get bullied for 90 minutes, but it's going to get bullied at the moments where it really matters in transition. And if you have got Son, which I assume is availability,
Yeah.
Kane, yeah.
hopefully.
They expect Kane to be back next week.
We'll be screwed if we didn't.
I did
There'll
find it funny.
be no Harry Kane tomorrow. But he is expected to be back next week.
I did find it
Thursday,
funny how Jordan tweeted the other day. He said something along the lines of Jose basically confirmed that Kane's out for a matter of weeks, and then Jordan said that basically means he's ready and starting up front against Chelsea, which would be very typical Jose, to be fair. But I look at things like in transition and Ndombele, where he could do someone like Jorginho, absolutely do him for power and for pace and play 1 or 2 passes in, and Son's one-on-one with the keeper. If you get it wrong, it could go drastically wrong. This is the problem I've got about playing this nice passy stuff that you guys can't keep the ball to save your life.
Do you necessarily think it'll be Jorginho Kovacic? Because I'm thinking it will be more.
If it's Kante, then maybe it changes a little bit different. But if
he should be fit.
Yeah, if it's Jorginho, I feel like we might have a real problem. Maybe you play all 3 of them in there together. I don't know. Maybe that's something you could potentially explore. But I'm not too sure about the way we're gonna look. So I don't want to kind of throw all my eggs into one basket and whatever. But the main thing I just want to kind of really emphasize is the passy stuff is great, and we've won the last game and we drew 1 before, and people are saying it's better. But we get a real test this week against Spurs, who are a team that may not be able to do it for a full 90 minutes because you are missing Kane. And one of the main things I noticed from the Brighton game is you really lacked a focal point. Massively lacking a focal point.
We had one on the bench, but anyway.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe that you left it so long 3-1, to be honest. But you could be really lacking a focal point. You haven't got that dynamic partnership. So are you going to be able to do it for 90 minutes? Maybe not. But are you going to be able to do it on 3 or 4 occasions in a game? That's what Jose does. That's what won us so many games. Let's go 1-0 up. Let's park the bus, and we're going to pass it around and do what we need to do. Go forward when we can and when the time's right.
Yeah, but when it doesn't work with Tottenham, we don't have a good enough defence to be able to do that tactic. So when I'm saying he doesn't have a plan B, if we do go 1-0 up, it's a bit of an issue.
You do have a good defence if you put 10 men behind the ball.
But it still's not working at Tottenham.
Which is something that he could do. It is something that he could do, because all it's going to take is someone like Son, who's got this electric pace, and he goes right down the left-hand side and runs the pitch.
I understand, but I'm saying it hasn't worked most games. So going 1-0 up and parking the bus isn't working.
Well, I don't know.
I agree with what Craigo said. Craigo, that Wolves game, there was a chance. I don't think Wolves actually got into your half, other than one chance in that second.
Neto, where he hit the bar. Yeah.
In that second half, then Dunker found himself more or less in front of the goal.
Rudiger fell asleep.
The ball didn't sit down, and he couldn't Do you know the bet I mean? And that's why I agree with you on what you're saying in terms of we saw in the Liverpool game, we were dreadful for 90 minutes, but after 2 minutes we scored, and we were off, and it was offside by a armpit hair. And if that goal stands, it could, you never know. It might have been
different game of football.
And that's why I agree. Look, what you can, if we start quickly, score a goal after 5 minutes, you're in trouble with passy against us.
Exactly, completely agree.
No, but Here's the thing. I think we're good at breaking these sorts of teams down. If anything, my biggest problem isn't the midfield. It's more further up front. I think the final ball hasn't been good enough. I think Tammy Abraham, Giroud and Werner have all dropped their own stinkers in the last week under Thomas Tuchel. So if anything, my worry is the same as it's always been. Will we take our chances when we create them? Because I do think Chelsea will make chances, especially under this new manager. It's just, are we going to finish them where it's going to be the biggest issue?
That's the thing.
I think if you have enough chances, you will finish a few of them. We make mistakes in the box all the time, so if we've got that sort of defense out,
chances last time,
you'll get your chances and you can take them.
But the Burnley game the other day, I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure we had 19 attempts, and probably over half of them were on target, and 2 went in. It's the same thing as Tottenham. Apart from the fact of the matter is, Tottenham have got a clinical forward in Son, and we haven't got that clinical forward at the moment.
Yeah, but he's kind of on a bad patch right now.
That's where the big amount of pressure comes from for Chelsea. We can pass it all we want, but it can literally be 10 seconds. The game is completely over because of the quality of Son.
Purple patch has been kind of gone a bit off form now.
But again, big game, big moment. He can step up. He did it against us at
He's our only big game player. I
can't judge form. We are literally charity FC.
We said before, what we were saying that Spurs Liverpool game when the Son goal went in, the one that was disallowed, completely different. Like, I know we were terrible after that, like really terrible, but it is essentially a different game if that goes in.
Yeah, I get that. Yes. But my issue would be,
was saying, if we score early by a quick counter attack early on in this game and it counts, that's where they will have a problem with passy.
Yeah, I get that. If we're 3-1 down and we've created one chance the whole.
I agree that was terrible. I agree that was terrible, but that's beside that was. I was just saying how if the goal had stood.
I get that. We're 1-0 up. It is a different game, but I still think we somehow managed to draw that game because we probably wouldn't create much after it. But anyway,
that's Thursday. It was Thursday. You played Liverpool, wasn't it? Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday to Sunday, then against Brighton, and then right the way through now, right into another Thursday. That's a week where you've been able to think of how do we play without Kane? Which instead of having 3 days against. When you played Brighton, or 2 days where you have to travel.
It's pretty simple, but anyway.
I don't know. I think it's a very different dynamic. For Jose, the idea is easy, but for everyone else, you've got to get used to it because your instant thought is, where's Son and Kane? Because if you find one of them, the other one's going to be nearby. Where now you've got to find the one. It changes the game a lot. But I don't think it's a straightforward game. I think this is going to be a really, really big tactical battle. And I'd be very interested to see how Chelsea and Tuchel play. Because if we play the 3 at the back, we can be defensively set, whoop-de-doo. But we're going to have to force Tottenham to come out and play. Because if we go 1-0 up, depending on when we go 1-0 up, the game looks very, very different. You forget that we took 40 minutes to score against fucking Burnley. And the person that scored was our centre-half. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can't rely on Dave coming forward or from the back and doing that every week. Someone's got to grab it by the bollocks.
I think us not having Reguilon is a big blow as well. Reguilon, I mean, it's an issue. I love him. Like, he's one of my favourite players.
Watch Boring Ben or Average Ben as we call him for 90 minutes.
I call it, I literally do call him Average Ben. I said he's lemon and herb at Nando's.
We're talking about Arsenal.
There's a video of him from Sunday's game against Brighton where we're on a counter attack and he lumps it 40 yards backwards. It's mad. Yeah. I know exactly what video he's talking about because we've seen it. I really want to win. Like, there are Spurs fans.
I would love to.
There's Spurs fans out there that want Spurs to lose because it will mean Jose is closer to the sacking, and it's the same happened at Arsenal.
I don't think any Spurs fan should ever want your team to lose.
Yeah, it happened with Arteta. There were fans out there that wanted him to lose so he would get sacked. And it's now the same at Tottenham, and there was probably the same at when Lampard was coming to the end. There were probably Chelsea fans going, "I hope we lose, so Lampard can get sacked."
There was some.
I agree. I can't.
The same way there were fans that were happy for us to go down to the Championship.
I don't want to have to come on after a defeat. I want Spurs to go and win 4-0 tomorrow. I want us to batter you. I know we won't, but like.
Not with that attitude, you won't, eh?
I think I want us to win. I don't want anyone to think I want us to lose. I don't want us to lose any game, especially to these lot. I never want to lose a game.
Your biggest rivals.
I'll never forget Chelsea at Wembley. All of us in Louis' flat having breakfast, and then I didn't know any of you. Lewis knows. I didn't know. Fair enough. Yeah, very good. No, but do you remember? I didn't know any of you, and I was the only Spurs fan in a flat with about 20 Chelsea fans, and we'd just beaten you 3-1. And I was sitting there. You were all editing your videos. I wasn't
Dele
part
Alli.
of
in with Ben and Sims was unbearable as usual.
Yeah, maybe Craig wasn't there, but
Yeah,
you were there, Lewis. You were there. It was the day me and Lewis became friends.
Yeah, one positive out of that absolute shit show of a performance. But as a final question, everyone, we're going to go around. I want to get you guys' score predictions for the game. Craigo, I'm going to start with you, my guy.
I'm just going to say 1-0. I don't know which way. I'm just going to say 1-0. It's got 1-0 goal written over it. That it's just going to be
an 80-minute goal or something.
It's going to be a shit game of football. Just get it into your heads now.
Yep.
Elena, let's go to you. What's your thoughts for the game?
I don't think we'll win. But I'm going to be optimistic, and I'll say 1-1.
That's optimistic. Shit.
Yeah, that is optimistic. Things have got really peaked for you guys. Lav, let's go to you. I want to hear your score predictions, mate.
0-0. Said it before. It was 0-0 in November, and it will be 0-0 tomorrow. So Thursday. I've got to sort my days out.
Yeah, guys, I do want to say, if you think this is negative, this isn't negative. This is absolute facts.
This is real.
The last time we played Spurs, we got so hyped for this match. Fucking top of the table clash. First versus Spurs. Second. And what happened? We literally just went to another Jose 0-0.
Gio Lo Celso decided to try and chip the goalkeeper from the edge of the box.
I was literally just thinking about that.
Yeah, also, we didn't sub on Giroud and spammed crosses all game. And Tammy
that's true. So, and Rodon nearly let him through. Nearly let him through, and he nearly scored. So when he did come on.
Both have howlers in ourselves. But yeah, let us know you guys' thoughts in the comments section down below.
No, one last question for you two. What's Tuchel's like? What do you want from him for this season?
Yeah, my standards haven't changed.
FA Cup.
Huh?
Me, I want top 4 in an FA Cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But that's got to be the standard. Otherwise, you might as well have kept Lampard. That's got to be the standard.
Yeah, low-key, I want 3rd, not even 4th.
Well, someone sounds like me.
If you don't get top 4 in an FA Cup?
Yeah, because look at this season. Look at how packed this season is. You lot should be out of the top 4 race. We should be out of the top 4 race. Yeah, we're both still in and around it. Yeah, but that's the thing. No one else has been consistent this season, which is why we still have a chance of getting top 3. You guys still have a chance of getting top 3. So my expectations haven't changed. All you need is that beautiful word, and it's consistency. As soon as you get that consistency, you can climb so far. Look at Arsenal. These men were relegation candidates before they faced us. Now they're 1 point behind us, and we're talking about 3rd. So realistically, they can be talking about 3rd as well. So this season, you can finish anywhere. Up in the table, even down below the table, which is why it's a bit peak for you, man, if you lose this game still. But if you get a run of wins behind you, anything can happen. You can literally aim for the stars. I don't think there's any position that's guaranteed. The only thing that shouldn't be guaranteed is City will probably make top 4. That's the only thing I can guarantee. Other than that, I don't think anything else.
Chelsea were absolutely shit under Conte first 5-6 games. We played against Arsenal, lost 3-0. Played 3 at the back system, changed it up completely. I think it was 17, 18 games on the bounce we won. We won pretty much straight away through for half a season. I mean, if we could get close to that, then who knows what the hell could happen. Not saying we're going to win the league, but we could top 4. We could be top 4 and comfortably in there as well. Who knows? Yeah, just on that. I don't know what you think about this, Elena, but our 3 at the back system doesn't work. We don't have the players for it.
So I was literally, honestly, I was itching to speak about this right now. I was going to say quickly, can I just ask you?
Yeah, we played it last Thursday against Liverpool. We played it. We for some reason went to Brighton and played with three centre backs. No, 2 centre backs and 1. I don't know.
I want to play 4-2-3-1 again.
Work. It just doesn't.
I want to play. Yeah,
go on.
When we were beating United and beating, like, you know, when we West Ham. I know the West Ham result, but the performance, we were playing 4-2-3-1. I think this three at the back with the two wing backs is terrible. The fact that we're playing two wing backs when we don't have like our proper right back situation, I don't know, but our like left back, which can play left wing back, we don't have him. But this is when we decide to play a wing back system. This is where I think we can't deny he's making mistakes, because why would you do that now?
I do think, to be fair to Jose, I do think the three at the back system is a lot easier to change from than it is to change into during a game. If you want to go, oh shit,
he
we need to go
with a three at the back.
Sorry, what was that?
He started with a three at the back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you start with three at the back, you go, oh shit, we need to go for it. You take off a centre half and throw someone on up top. Then you go to a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1.
It was still just as bad, but it still didn't make sense to play Davis as a wing back and Sissoko, which isn't even a right back, as a right wing back.
One other thing as well, which I think could be, if hopefully I've not Dele Alli, right? The treatment of him aside, I'm not going to talk about the treatment because we haven't got enough time.
Yeah.
But
I know what you're going to say, because I agree. I think
I think that whilst he's been very because people say, "Oh, bring Dele back," and then I think about, well, Dele hasn't. The last time I think Dele Alli played well was in Jose's first game against West Ham, and before that, God knows when. However, without Harry Kane, and it's obviously not going very well for us at the moment. We're in a tough run of form. There is no better man to try to come into this game and bag a goal than Dele Alli on Thursday. He didn't leave in the transfer window. I don't know if apparently he was injured on the weekend. Don't know if he is. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah, I don't know what's true and what's not.
He has to play tomorrow. I've got to stop thinking it's tomorrow. He has to,
please don't, because that means I've missed a lot of stuff that I was supposed to do.
He has to play on Thursday. If we can, it's so simple. You play the big striker that we've got, whether you wanted him or not. You play Son on the left. You play Bergwijn on the right. You play Dele Alli. You have your Højbjerg and Tongi sitting, and you have a back four. And yes, the back four is not a good back four. It's not ideal. They're all a bunch of.
It works much better than a back.
And Dele's got a fight for a space in the Euros.
The thing is, I understand that. I totally get it. I don't know why everyone thinks Dele's going to come back and be Dele of 2017. That's just not going to happen. Like, everyone is overhyping.
It's an option. It's just an option.
Yeah, but if we were playing this bad, we need we need to get him. Like, we need to put him in the team. Like, there's no reason why he can't be in this team.
And I just think that the most important thing in a football team is one of the most important things is balance, and that's something we don't have at the moment. You need balance, and that team would be balanced if you play Dele and two people behind him. Let him float around. Let whoever's up front play up front.
He needs to play right behind the striker, whoever the striker will be.
The problem with Dele is he's not a footballer. When he drops deep and gets on the ball, that's not what you want him doing. He's not a footballer. He's someone on the end of things, like Frank Lampard to do. I know he was a much better midfielder because he could do everything, but in terms of how Lampard used to get on the end of things in the box and arrive late and just cause a problem.
I can sum it up perfectly for Dele. Dele Alli creates moments, and a moment is going to win this game tomorrow. Thursday. You got me doing it now. A moment is going to win this game, and something like Dele Alli can make those moments. And I hate to tempt fate and be the kiss of death, but he makes moments. That's what he does.
I wouldn't worry. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll play, but it's just
I think I totally understand he should be playing, but I also understand that he hasn't been great when he has played. So it's a weird one with Dele.
Okay, we've got Ndombele. He'll take Kante for another walk.
No, I think Ndombele's injured, right?
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Yes!
I just remembered.
Wait. Are you basing that on the fact that he went off, or because they tweeted?
No, but I feel like I've been hearing that he's injured, but don't quote me on it. I might be wrong, but he did come off and he was limping.
I think he'll be okay.
Bloody hell, Elena. I've got confidence then.
No, he might actually be injured, but he might not be, and I'm really hoping he's not.
It's been lovely chatting to you all. I'm off to cry.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything about Ndombele actually being out. It's just worries. So nothing confirmed yet, and Jose won't confirm anything either. Hopefully, but we won't know till the lineup comes out. Jose will never confirm it. Anyway.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Let me just go through a few of the super chats before we round this up. Lawrence said Spurs gained 2 shelled on Thursday. Slav crying. I will say if that happens, a Premier League pandemonium show is going to be hilarious. Lewis Craig, Spurs fans do your job. This is amazing. Big up Spurs v Spurs violence. I love it. That said, love v Spurs.
I'm the degenerate of it, apparently.
What was that?
I'm the degenerate of it, apparently. Everyone hates me.
It's healthy discussion.
That's the thing. Half the man just don't like a debate, but here we have had a good debate, so that's half the reason why I've been enjoying it. The content
we haven't. We've been fine, though, us two.
You're happy.
I've just been clutching for the most. I think this is the quietest I've ever been on one of my streams. Language of the Slave says Jose's world class. You're sick. If you beat us, you go 5 points behind Leicester City. This league's hard. This year's at what's that? This year everyone's beating everyone. You're doing well. Look what Jose's done to Ndombele. You beat Man U 6-1. All right, cool. He also says Jose wins titles and the track record proves it.
Elena,
And is there a final comment? Oh, I can't even see that final live stream. No, is that? No, he was talking about I can't see the full thing up here anyway. But guys, this is the end of the live stream. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been yet again one of my favorite streams. Check out everyone on their socials. The links are down in the description below. Check out Craigo28 Football, Craigo28 Sports. Check out Elena on Lily White TV, and check her out on the Football Terrace, where that Tottenham show will be debuting tomorrow at what time?
At 9, we'll be debuting it. We've got quite a good panel. It will just be like Tottenham debates, I assume, just like this, because I don't stop. But yeah, that will be debuting. And yeah, obviously our match review after the Chelsea game. Got quite a lot of Chelsea fans on the panel. So yeah.
You definitely didn't forget, Elena, did you? Definitely didn't forget.
No.
Right, and as usual, check out Sam Lav. His Twitter link is down in the description below, and you guys can check him out on Premier League Pandemonium, which is coming the day after Spurs versus Chelsea.
Yeah.
So you're not going to pop off unless it's another boring.
Sorry, what? Oh, yeah, I'm free Friday. Yeah.
You say this is a fucking Ali 1-0 BS, which I don't want to speak into existence, but I know with us being Charity FC, there's always a chance. But guys, check us out, like and subscribe, follow everyone on their socials.
I miss your
tomorrow. Final thoughts.
Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. They'll come back eventually.
I miss them. They were funny.
They will come back eventually. They'll slowly come back when Arsenal start losing games again.
All right.
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't do it anymore. I don't have to. I'm shameless. I'm not that shameless. Like I keep getting banned to too much for it. But guys, smash the like and subscribe button. Follow everyone on their socials and their YouTube channels. And we'll see you guys on Craigo's channel in a few minutes, because we're about to go do a live stream on his channel. So guys, check that out. Smash the like and subscribe button, and let's go. We move on to Spurs versus Chelsea. Let's smash these up the